Here is Mary Morgan, Manager of Drug Establishment Licensing Unit, Health Products Inspection and Licensing, Health Products Compliance Directorate. As the manager of the Drug Establishment Licensing Unit, Mary currently leads the advancement and improvement of Health Canada's DEL program across Canada. She's provided leadership for several operational and strategic initiatives of the department's health product regulatory framework, including implementation of a new IT systems and departmental reviews. Topic of her discussion today is the drug establishment licensing processes. Please welcome Mary Morgan to the stage.
Okay. Is this good? Good morning, everybody. Thank you for coming in this morning. So I will be talking about drug establishment licensing and the process the process that an application follows once it comes into Health Canada for drug establishment licensing. So we'll just do a quick review of the regulatory framework that supports our work and then talk about drug establishment licensing from the filing to finalization. I'll go through some quick highlights and of course go through some performance and metrics that everyone's always interested in. So our regulatory framework is of course supported by the Food and Drugs Act and associated regulations, and specifically Part C Division 1A, 2, 3, and 4. So I'll leave 2 to Gita. And so the work in DELU focuses primarily on Division 1A, and so the work of that division outlines the regulatory requirements, as well as the regulatory process as a regulator we must follow for issuance, cancellation, suspensions, and even non-issuance. Sorry, next slide. So this is, we'll walk through the different steps of the application process, but everyone's familiar with Form 33, I hope. So we actually just published a new Form 33 in May, and so it includes the regulatory amendments related to AMR, so the antimicrobial resistance. And so there are 3 main types or main buckets of applications that come into DELU, and so new DEL applications, so first-time applicants, amendments to an existing DEL, which is the majority of the application, so whether that's adding a new activity, a new dosage form, or a new foreign building, those are the majority of our applications, and then of course administrative changes. I did a bit of a survey with our application management section to ask them what could help you when a new application comes in that can make our work go a bit faster, and so they've provided you with these tips. So submit a complete application, obviously. Submit applications by email, if possible. Include a cover letter that highlights the most important things that you want to tell DELU. Respond promptly to clarification requests, and always reference your application number when you are trying to have further correspondence so that we can track the application number. And I thought this one was funny, but do not submit duplicate applications because they just bog down the system. Here's the basic 5-step process, a high-level description of the drug establishment licensing application process. So once an application comes in, it goes through what we call application and intake. So this step includes a triage of the application based on the content and based on the subject of your email and or cover letter. There's a bit of data entry that happens into our electronic compliance and enforcement system, which we refer to as ECES. It's assigned an application number and it moves through the system. So once you receive an application number, you know that you've passed the first screening step within the process. Once you move on to step number 2 and 3 is where I would say most of the regulatory work begins. So we determine the completeness of the application based on our requirements in Guide 2. They coordinate inspection requests, so determining whether or not the amendment or the change that's required needs an inspection, or if a previous inspection has covered that element. So, and then we also coordinate the requests for certificates of compliance from our regulatory partners under MRAs. So that's all done in-house. And then of course we coordinate with Gita's team and the domestic team to coordinate the evaluation of GMP evidence depending on whether it's a foreign or domestic site. Once you move on to step 4, I won't talk a lot about that. Sakita is going to tell you a lot about that piece, but it's the evaluation and assessment